How often do you find yourself in autopilot mode, just going through life, the same morning routine, you go to work, the same evening routine, you wake up, you do it all over again, every week looks the same, it gets to the weekend, you see the same friendship group, you do the same thing, go to the same bar, the same coffee shop, and everything's just the same. And it gets to like a year later and you're like, where the hell did the time go? What the hell have I even done with the last year of my life? And yeah, you just find yourself reflecting like, I'm gonna do this year differently, but what's going wrong like here? Why does it feel like time is going so fast and I am not getting anywhere? Now, something I've noticed, and honestly one of the main things I think is happening here, is the fact that we don't stay present enough. We're not present enough in each and every moment, whether it be something bad we're going through, whether it be something really good, something exciting, or just the normal day-to-day stuff. Like I'm speaking from myself as well, and it's clear, like friends and family around me, like we're not present enough. And so let me explain. So I feel like when we're doing like the same routines day in, day out, and we're just in autopilot mode, we're not even thinking about what we're doing anymore. Like we're doing it, like we're walking to work, we're driving to work, we're making our breakfast, we're working out in the gym, you know, getting the kids ready, like whatever it is, but we're not really thinking about what we're doing in that moment. Whilst we're doing that, we're thinking about like the next step and what's going to happen next. Like we're constantly thinking about what's going to happen next. We're constantly thinking about the future, which, now take what I say with a pinch of salt, because of course it's important to think about the future. Of course it's important to have like routines set up. Like I'm a big believer in routines. I think it keeps you accountable and it helps you to get the things done you need to get done, even when you don't feel like it. So I'm not saying like scrap your routines, like scrap your friendship groups, find another job. Like I'm not saying any of that, but I'm saying like whilst we're doing these, what we think at the time are boring things that we do every day, maybe if we were a little bit more present in these moments, we would find them a little bit more excitement, and we'd find more enjoyment out of the small things, rather than just seeing it as doing like the same thing every day until it gets to a year later and we're like, where the hell has the time gone? Like what have we even been doing? And yeah, I genuinely believe it's because a lot of us are not staying present enough. We're constantly battling in our brain with these thoughts that we don't want and we don't always need, with like, I guess, anxious thoughts, like, you know, worrying about the future, rather again, like I said, than staying present and enjoying each moment, which of course is hard. It's bloody hard. I'm trying to train my brain to do this, and I am getting better and better and better. I'll give you an example. I remember I've always loved traveling and like going away on holidays and seeing new countries and, you know, etc. And when I used to go on holiday, I feel like I would go and I'd enjoy it, of course, but I'd come home and I wouldn't even like remember the holiday. Like I'd kind of feel like I hadn't even been to that country. It was a strange feeling to explain. Like there's certain countries I've been to which personally I at this stage I don't feel like I went to. I don't remember it. I don't really remember much about it. I just know I had a good time and I'd love to go back. Whereas there's other countries that I've been to more recently that I can remember everything about it. I can remember like little parts of the trip, like the smells, the people, what I was doing at certain times. And it's because I trained my brain to be present and take in my surroundings. Whereas what I used to do on holidays is I've got better at training my thoughts. I used to be a lot more, I guess, like, I don't like to use the word anxious. I think it's used too much these days, although there's definitely times when it really does apply. But I think I used to like overthink a lot more. I'm still an overthinker, but I've got a lot better. But I used to be on holidays and I'd just be constantly thinking about the next step, like where are we gonna go tomorrow, like what's gonna happen if we go here, like what am I gonna wear here, and just like constantly worrying even though I was on holiday. And then again, because I wasn't like like, say if I was sat having breakfast, like, I'm not like thinking, oh, this is like such lovely food, and like looking around me, looking at the views, taking in all the smells. I'm like thinking, okay, where's next, kind of thing. So then I get home and I'm like, I don't even remember it. Like, I don't even feel like I've been away. Whereas these days I go on holiday, and it might sound silly to some, but I bloody love it, and it's just helps me to take in the culture more and actually feel like I'm on holiday, and it helps me to keep that memory in my head forever. Like, now if I go away, I'll be sat somewhere and I'm like really looking around at every little thing I can see, every smell I can see, taking pictures of small things, and then when I look back at that picture, I can literally remember like the smells and all senses of how I felt when I was in that moment. And it just makes you like appreciate it 10 times more, and it makes time feel like it's going slower because you're just stopping for a second and just taking it all in, rather than all go like thinking what's next. And again, like being present, like I feel like something that really helped me going through like breakups in the past, like when I first would go through a breakup, like when I was much younger, I would just be all over the place after the breakup. I'm constantly thinking about where that person, what that person's doing, who they're with. It's like tunnel vision on that person, like just constantly thinking about them, no matter who I'm with or what I'm doing. Like, I don't care who, like I wouldn't care who I was with, and it sounds so horrible. Like, I could be sat at a family or friend dinner and I'm like, I don't care who's around me, like I just want that person. And again, it's like tunnel vision on that person, and I'm just thinking about them constantly and what they're doing, rather than like just taking in what I'm doing and appreciating the people that are choosing to spend the time with me. I would be so just not there in each moment. Whereas I feel like the most recent breakup, I told myself like, I'm not doing that again. Like, that's not nice. It's not helping anyone. So I really train. And again, I was watching so many like YouTube videos. That's why I'm really enjoying making them now, because I hope these are going to help people just like other videos help me. I'd watch like YouTube videos, I'd listen to podcasts, and I'd do reading, and just to see what helped other people. And that was one of the things people said. So I was like, I'm gonna do everything to stay present. And when I go out, and because when you go for a breakup, you go out with friends and stuff, don't you? Because you're trying to take your mind off things. But I didn't use it as just trying to take my mind off things. I made myself, like, if I'm gonna go out and do something to take my mind off things, I'm not gonna go out and do something anymore and think about something else whilst I'm with these people. I'm gonna go out with them, and I'm gonna make sure I am present. And again, when I feel my brain wandering off, at the time of the breakup, and I'd be with my friends, if I felt my brain wandering off, I would bring it back to the present moment and really look at the people I was with and think about what I'm doing, where I'm at, and just really train my brain to be grateful. Because at the end of the day, like, these are people that are choosing to spend their time with you. They could be elsewhere and they could be doing other stuff. So I think it's something like, it's the least we can do to appreciate that when we're with them and give them all of our attention, and yeah, just enjoy it. And then as soon as you know it, like, time goes on, and you know, you're thinking about the breakup less and less. But yeah, that's just a little example. But yeah, I just think it's so important to stay present in every moment, honestly. Like, even when like I was closing up, like I was finishing up my shift the other day at work, and I was just like so tired, so drained. I'm thinking, can everyone just leave? Like, I want to get out of here. Like, I want to get home. I want to eat my dinner. I want to go to sleep. And I found myself like really just thinking, like, what am I going to have for dinner? I've got to go to the shop after work and get my food. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. Then I've got to walk home, blah, blah, blah. And I just really found my brain wandering, and I was like walking home, and again, my brain was like wandering, and I was thinking, how many, you know, when you like count how many hours sleep you're gonna get, and you're like, oh, like that kind of feeling, just tired and drained. And then I was like, it was silence when I was walking home, and it just felt, I just caught I caught a glimpse of it whilst my brain was on overdrive about all of these thoughts. And I was like, just shut my brain up for a minute and just like listen to like the silence and how peaceful it was walking home. And suddenly I was like, oh, like everything just felt so much better all of a sudden, and my brain wasn't on overdrive, and I was appreciating the fact that like I am alive and I get to do these things. And I was just thinking how peaceful it was walking home, and then all of a sudden, like, I just didn't feel as stressed anymore. It's a hard feeling to explain and talk about out loud, but for those that have been practicing just staying present and being in each and every moment and just really understanding like how bloody big like the world is and how small we are, like all of these worries and stresses that we think about, like most of them are just so irrelevant and just not even worth stressing about when there's so many other things we can just be grateful for. And I think practicing staying present and in the moment and just looking at what we have in front of us and the people that choose to spend the time with us, when we start looking at that, it just changes so much, and it feels like time goes a little bit slower, and the things that you might have found boring just don't seem as boring anymore. And yeah, I don't know. If you've been practicing this, then I'm sure you'll know exactly what I'm saying. And if you haven't, I honestly think you should, because when you find yourself stressing and you're overwhelmed, it's something that personally just really helps me to just look at the moment I'm actually in. And yeah, all of a sudden you're thinking about other stuff than the stresses. You're thinking about what's in front of you, how you're feeling, the smells you can feel. And it's a bit of a game changer, honestly, something so simple. But yeah, this is definitely one of the number one things in life that I think is up there as being one of the important things to practice, and can be a bit of a game changer in your life and help you enjoy it more. But I hope that helps, guys. I just wanted to have a little chat. Sorry, I feel like I'm struggling to get my words out today. I probably haven't explained this as well as I would have wanted to, but I hope it helps someone out there, and I hope it can maybe change your day a little bit if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed. But yes, I will speak to you all soon.